Man, I can't believe I made it to the champion. This is insane. This is like the worst time for a phone call. Hello?
Hey Gold, don't forget, my Rattata is the toppest of the percentage.
Joey, I really don't care. I'm in the middle of something.
Okay, I just want you to know though, because it might come in handy one of these days. Or like, in a few minutes. Seconds.
What does he even mean by that? Whatever, I gotta focus. Oh hey Gold, remember me? My Rattata. What is going on, guys? This is Dobbs here, bringing you another Pokemon video. And in this video, I'm gonna go over 10 unique Pokemon that will amaze you. Awesome title, right? But before we start, I just want you guys to know that we have a Dobbs Nation Discord server with a ton of awesome emotes. And just yesterday, we added 13 brand new ones that are just so cool. And on top of having awesome emotes, we have an awesome community as well, so you should definitely join. And I talk in there very frequently because I just find it a lot of fun. So yeah, there will be a link down below in the description if you want to join, and I'll see you guys there. So yeah, with that said, without further ado, let's get started.
Number 10.
Alright, starting off this list of unique Pokemon, we have Puka the Pikachu. Now, as shocking as this sounds, this Pikachu debuted in the Pokemon anime over 20 years ago in 1998 in the episode The P. Kahuna. And just with that name alone should give away what's unique about this Pokemon. Now, if you didn't know, this Pikachu has psychic powers where it can sense the waves of the ocean. And basically every time a wave would appear in the ocean, the Pikachu would glow in a psychic aura of some sort. Kinda like what you would see with an Alakazam using Psychic. And on top of being able to sense the waves, it would also surf with its trainer. So you essentially had a surfing Psychic Pikachu, which sounds very familiar. I wonder why a surfing Pikachu that has psychic abilities sounds familiar. Oh, that's right, Alolan Raichu in the Pokemon Sun and Moon games, which is a Pokemon that's probably heavily based on Puka the Pikachu. Because hey, they both have blue eyes, they both surf, and they both have psychic abilities. And on top of that, they're both native to an island of some sort. Not to mention that the episode is named the P. Kahuna, which is the same term they use for the gym leaders of the Alola region, the Kahunas. And it may not be a coincidence that Hau has an Alolan Raichu, which is Kahuna Hala's grandson. It's probably a reference to Puka the Pikachu, which makes this Pokemon super unique and awesome.
Number 9.
Coming up next, we have a Pokemon that has a humongous fandom behind it. So with that said, for number 9, we have Flareon, the False Prophet. Now, we all know the story of Lord Helix, the god of Twitch Plays Pokemon lore. But do we know the story of the second proclaimed god, Flareon, the False Prophet? Well, I'm here to tell you just that. And to preface this, Twitch Plays Pokemon was a live stream on Twitch where thousands and thousands of players, if not millions, controlled one game of Pokemon Red. So with that in mind, here we go. Now, during the event of Twitch Plays Pokemon, the chat decided that it needed a Water-type Pokemon for the team since they were lacking a Water-type move. And since they were in Celadon City, they decided to grab the free Eevee on top of the building in hopes to evolve it into a Vaporeon with a Water Stone from the department store. But that didn't necessarily happen. You see, when they went to buy the Water Stone, they instead bought a Fire Stone and then wasted the rest of their money on Pokédolls. And to make matters worse, they immediately used the Fire Stone on the Eevee and evolved it into a Flareon, making it impossible to obtain a Vaporeon. And after this happened, the chat decided they didn't want the Flareon anymore, so they decided to go deposit it at the Pokemon Center. But that's when the real chaos began. Instead of depositing Flareon, they instead released Abby, our starter, and Jay Leno, the infamous Rattata, as well as depositing Bird Jesus, the only Pokemon that could take on gyms, and Team Rocket. And on top of that, they deposited the Helix Fossil, which was the lord and savior of Twitch Plays Pokemon. So suffice it to say, a lot of bad events happened after getting the Flareon, which dubbed it the name the False Prophet, which makes this Pokemon pretty unique.
Number 8.
Now this next one is both shocking and awesome. So with that said, for number 8, we have Tangela. Now we all know the Pokemon Tangela, but do we actually know the Pokemon Tangela? Because the origin behind this Pokemon will honestly shock you, because it shocked me. So be prepared to be blown away. So with that said, during the English release of Pokemon Red and Blue, a lot of Pokemon that we all know and love today had different names. And one of these Pokemon was Tangela, and guess what his original name was? It was Medusa. Yes, after the Greek mythology character Medusa with the snakes on her head. Now do you see where I'm getting at? Tangela is just a head with snakes all around it, and some shoes. I still don't understand those shoes, but still, this is frightening. And it probably explains why Tangela evolved with Ancient Power, because Medusa is an ancient mythology character, and Ancient Power is ancient. And it probably also further explains why Tangela didn't learn Vine Whip in Pokemon Red and Blue, because the quote-unquote vines that are around it were actually snakes, and that is why its first move is Constrict. It's literally a head with snakes around it with the shoes. Oh my god, I just looked up a picture of Medusa, and Medusa has the shoes too! Nah, I'm just kidding, but still, this really blew my mind when I found out about it, and that is why I chose Tangela for number 8 on this list.
Number 7.
Alright, so this next one's gonna be very short and simple, but very cool and school. So, for number 7, we have Mega Gyarados. Now, like I said, this is very cool and school. I'm not sure what the school part means, but I'm going with it. But in the Pokemon anime, in the episode Enlighten Up, Misty sees a legendary water Pokemon in her dream. And when you look at this imaginary legendary water Pokemon, what does it look like? It looks like the Mega Gyarados that debuted in Pokemon X and Y over 10 years later. Yeah, this is crazy awesome. Crazy awesome sauce. But yeah, I just love this callback to the Pokemon anime. It's a very cool and unique origin for Mega Gyarados, and I love it. And that is why I chose it for number 7 for this list.
Number 6.
Now this next one is pretty weird, but also very interesting, and I'm wondering what happened to it. So with that said, for number 6, we have Anima. Note, this is not a Digimon, but this is actually an unreleased Pokemon from the Generation 2 era. Yeah, pretty crazy, right? It was revealed with a ton of other unreleased Pokemon from the Space demo from 1997. What's even crazier is the fact that this Pokemon was supposed to be a Ditto evolution with the item Metal Coat. And what made this Pokemon so unique is the fact that it was a Steel-type Pokemon with the move Transform. So you would either transform into a Steel-type version of the opponent's Pokemon, or you would just have a bulkier typing to transform the next turn. And I'm not gonna lie, it would have been really awesome transforming into a Steel-type version of a Mewtwo or something, just to imitate the Mecha Mewtwo from the first movie. But in all lightness, it was probably just a Steel typing just to be bulkier to survive the next turn for Transform. And that reminds me, a Shiny Ditto should definitely transform into a shiny version of the opponent's Pokemon. That just has to be a thing, someday. Like, could you imagine if Anima actually became a Steel typing of the opponent's Pokemon, and then it was a shiny on top of that? A shiny Steel type version of the opponent's Pokemon would have been so epic to see. But I'm going on a tangent. But yeah, some people speculate that Anima eventually became the Melton that we saw in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. And I could definitely see that, but I'll let you guys decide that below in the comments. So yeah, it's safe to say that this unreleased Pokemon is definitely a unique one, and that is why it's number 6 for this list.
Number 5.
So for this next one, I'm unsure if it's actually a Pokemon or if it's some kind of alien in the Pokemon universe. But in all lightness, it's probably just a human in a costume. So with that said, for number 5, we have Imakuni. Now, what caught my attention with Imakuni is the fact that it had a Pokemon card where it confused your own Pokemon. And I thought that was very weird and interesting, so I really wanted to find out the backstory behind this character and Pokemon card. And it turns out Imakuni has tons of Pokemon cards. He's even in the Pokemon trading card game. And in the game, he is known as the strange life form Imakuni, which is why I'm unsure if he's a Pokemon, an alien, or just a human in a costume. But let's face it, he's probably just a human from our realm who entered the universe of the Pokemon realm, which still is pretty awesome. Now, you must be wondering, who is Imakuni in our realm, in the human realm of our universe? Well, he's actually a musician in a band called Suzuki-sen, and he has been heavily involved in promoting the Pokemon trading card game. He's been so involved, in fact, he's illustrated his own Pokemon cards ranging from Apom to Tentacle to even himself, which is where the confused Pokemon card comes from. And what's funny is that he's made a Pokemon card referencing the Pokemon card that confuses your own Pokemon, stating how useless it is and how dumb it is to play. And guess what? I bought it. Yeah, I bought it, and if I got it in the mail in time, I'll show it on the screen right now. This is me holding it with my hand. Yes, that's my hand. But yeah, I just love this character. I love his Pokemon cards, and I just had to put him on this list for unique Pokemon, even though he's not technically a Pokemon. Or is he? Either way, that's why I chose him for number 5 for this list.
Number 4.
Now this next one is not a meme. I am dead serious about this entire number. So for number 4, I chose Youngster Joey's Rattata. Alright, so Youngster Joey's Rattata is insane. It is so unique that it's a top percent Rattata of all Rattatas. It is like the number 1 best Rattata in the world, in the universe. It is so unique and awesome that Youngster Joey has to call you 24/7 every day, every hour, and tell you about how awesome and unique his Rattata is. And guess what? I love these phone calls. I love listening to him talk about his Rattata and how special and unique it is. I look forward to it every day. And I want everyone right now to write a comment saying how awesome Youngster Joey's Rattata is. Everyone who's watching this video, do it. Youngster Joey should definitely have the most praised Rattata in the world. And that is why I placed Youngster Joey's Rattata at number 4 for this list. It's the most epic, unique Rattata ever. It is the top percent Rattata.
Number 3.
Now this next one is from the Pokemon manga, and it's probably one of the most interesting Pokemon that Red owns. So with that said, for number 3, we have Red's Espeon. Now I gotta give it to the authors of the Pokemon manga, because they took this random Espeon that Red owned in the games and turned it into a really cool, unique Pokemon. And maybe random is the wrong word, because Red did find an Eevee in Celadon City in Pokemon Red and Blue, so I guess the better word would be, like, surprising. Either way, they made the surprising Espeon into a unique one in the manga. Now, what makes this Espeon so unique is the fact that it can evolve and de-evolve at will. And the only reason why it was able to do this is because it was experimented on by Team Rocket, so it gained the ability from experimentation. So when it's in a battle, it can de-evolve into an Eevee and then evolve into like a Flareon or something if it's facing like a Bulbasaur, which makes it pretty overpowered and very useful in a Pokemon battle. But yeah, that's basically it. It's the only Pokemon in the manga that can de-evolve at will and evolve whatever it wants to, which makes it a pretty unique Pokemon. Also, this is unrelated, but I'm just wondering what happened to the Espeon in Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Unless it could evolve into a Lapras as well. Maybe it can evolve into any Pokemon. Maybe this Eevee is actually Mew. Nah. Anyways, that is why I chose it for number 3 for this list.
Number 2.
Alright, so this next one's gonna be very short, but I think it's worth it because it's one of the most unique shiny Pokemon to ever exist. So with that said, for number 2, I chose a shiny Umbreon from Pokemon Stadium 2. Now, if you didn't know, some shiny Pokemon look different in Pokemon Stadium 2, and Umbreon just happens to be one of those Pokemon. As you can see, instead of having a pure black coat, it has a dark purple coat instead, which looks super slick. And on top of that, instead of having glowing blue rings, it has a glowing green, red, and white rings, which alternate between all 3 colors, and makes this Pokemon very unique. And man, I didn't even know about this shiny Umbreon until like a month ago, so I'm glad to share it with you guys as well. It's definitely one of the most unique shiny Pokemon out there. And yes, like I said, it's going to be very short, but that's basically all I have for this number. And that is why I chose the shiny Umbreon for number 2 on this list.
Number 1.
Now here we are, one of the most unique Pokemon that I have ever seen. And if you watched my top 10 impossible things, a Pokemon video I did with the Org Guardian, this Pokemon will make a lot of sense. So with that said, for number 1, I chose the Berry Glitch Event Zigzagoon. Now if you didn't know, in Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, after 366 days of playing the game, your in-game clock would just stop. And due to this glitch, in-game timed events like growing your berries would be impossible because you had no time to pass to grow the berries. And basically after that, you were just stuck without being able to grow berries forever. Well, at least until this event Zigzagoon came around. You see, what made this event Pokemon so unique is the fact that it came with an in-game patch. Because this was the time before you could update your game through a Wi-Fi signal, because when you bought your game, that was it. So releasing a Pokemon with an in-game patch to fix a glitch was very obscure and pretty awesome to say the least. On top of that, this Zigzagoon was shiny and also came with a Lychee Berry, which was the rarest berry in the game. And when I say rare, it is extremely rare. It was actually featured in my top 10 rarest things Pokemon video. So yeah, this event Pokemon is very unique, and that is why I chose it for number 1 for this list, even though this is not a top 10, it's just a 10. But still, it is very cool. And there you go, 10 unique Pokemon that will amaze you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to leave a like if you did, because I appreciate it a ton. Also, if you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe because I upload pretty frequently now, being a full-time YouTuber and all. And don't forget to ring that bell because that notifies you even more. And if you want to be even more awesome, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, or even join my Discord server because all those platforms are super cool. And also, I live stream every other day on my Dobbs gaming channel, so you should definitely check it out. We've been doing a lot of shiny hunting and Pokemon raids, so it's definitely a lot of fun. You can check down below in the description for my gaming channel link and subscribe if you want to. And finally, for the question of the video, what is the most unique Pokemon that you know? Be sure to let me know down below in the comments because I'm going to read those comments and reply to them and be like, whoa, that's crazy. And yeah, that's all for this video, and I will see you guys next time. See ya!